Where is the 7-year peace plan? And if we are in end times, Church-Andy will tell you all the time, well, you have to have the 7-year peace plan. Church-Andy is blind and therefore cannot see, so they've never been right before. Why are they right about this? So let's look at Daniel 9 for a minute, which is where the 7-year peace plan comes in. And we have the 77s, and then at the end of the chapter, that's starting in verse 29. Okay, we're gonna start from verse 20 is where this really starts, and then in verse 27 is where this peace plan comes in. He will confirm a covenant with many for 1 7. In the middle of the 7, he will put an end to the sacrifice and offering, and at the temple he will set up an abomination that causes desolation until the end of his decree is poured out on him. So we have a 7-year peace plan. There's no question about this. Now, we also have an abomination of desolation. The first issue is, how many abomination of desolations are there? Because you have to know that first to get to the other. Okay? We have one abomination that causes desolation when the Antichrist comes and abolishes the morning and evening sacrifice. No question about that. That's coming up soon. Whenever soon is, that's coming up soon. We have another one with the Maccabees, where Antiochus IV came and sacrificed a pig on the altar and put a statue of Zeus in the temple. We have a third abomination of desolation when they destroyed the temple in 70 AD. They stopped the morning and evening sacrifice. They stopped it entirely because they got rid of the entire complex. And the fourth one is when they destroyed the first temple. They got rid of the morning and evening sacrifice. How'd they do it? Because they got rid of the entire complex. They shut it down. Now again, that was the one they went back and tried to rebuild. They were actually still doing some morning and evening sacrifices, but it stopped it for a period of time. So we've got the Babylonians, we've got the Assyrians, which with Antiochus, we've got the Romans with the destruction of the temple, and we have a Russian as it pertains to, or somebody coming from Syria, which will be the Russians, which will be the fourth one. Now, that being said, let's get rid of this idea, because the 77s, from verse 20 to 27, is this 7-year peace plan. And I'm going to show you that that happened 2,000 years ago. So, starting in verse 20, while I was speaking and praying, confessing my sin and the sin of my people Israel, and making my request to the Lord my God for his holy hill. Where was Daniel? Daniel was in Babylon. Daniel was between the first and second temple. Okay. Verse 21, while I was still in prayer, Gabriel, the man I had seen in the earlier vision, came to me in a swift flight about the time of the evening sacrifice. He instructed me and said to me, Daniel, I have now come to give you insight and understanding. And this, verse 23, this is going to be one of the keys. As soon as you began to pray, a word went out, which I have come to tell you, for you are highly esteemed. Therefore consider the word and understand the vision. This is where we get into the 77s. What are 70? A 7 is a year of Jubilee. 70 of those is 490 years. How long was it between Daniel and Second Temple? About 490 years. So 77s are decreed for your people and your holy city to finish transgression, to put an end to sin, to atone for wickedness, to bring in everlasting righteousness, to seal up the vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy place. 25. This is going to be the key. Know and understand this. From the time the word goes out to restore and rebuild Jerusalem until the anointed one, the ruler, comes, there will be 77s and 62 sevens. I don't want to get into that because there's all different ways of looking through those. And I don't want to go through the whole issue there, because that's just going to bring confusion. But it's actually a time schedule to the abomination as well as when the Messiah is coming. There's a lot of information there. That being said, forgetting that for a moment, going back to verse 25, from the time the word goes out, In verse 23, we were told when the word went out. As soon as you began to pray, a word went out. So from that time, that's when we have the 490 years. Now we are 2,500 years separated from Daniel. So people who are trying to say, well, let's look for a 7-year peace plan, you're 2,000 years out. If you want to look for the 7-year peace plan, look 2,000 years in the past. So that's the real key to the 7-year peace plan. Again, Christians have never been right before. Why are they going to be right on this one? They're looking for a 7-year peace plan. They're 2,000 years separated from that peace plan. That's not something for our time. We don't see that in our current issue. We're looking for a totally different issue. But again, this is just to point out those who hold on to the peace plan, they're going to miss the game.